Namaskar. In this video I would like to start a topic of sadhana. It's a very big topic and I have many thoughts swarming in my mind, aspiring for expression. So I think there will be several videos about this topic. What is sadhana? The root verb sad means to complete oneself. Sadhana is the process of completion. I'm incomplete and I'm trying to become complete. That is sadhana. And normally we equate the word sadhana with meditation. We say, have you done sadhana? Are you ready to eat? Let's go. But actually sadhana is much wider word and it defines all the processes aiming at liberation. There is internal sadhana, and internally we are overcoming different temptations of the mind, so-called ripus or enemies of the mind: lust, anger, jealousy, attachment, greed, pride. These 6. We are trying to overcome those temptations of the mind. We're trying to liberate the mind from those temptations. And that is subtler, inner portion of sadhana. Another portion of sadhana is concerned with the external world. And it is concerned with overcoming so-called fetters of the mind. Laja, bhaya, grina, shanka, the shame, shyness, hatred, fear, doubt, the complexes, different complexes, the complex of cultural spirituality, superiority, complex of heritage, then hypocrisy, and vanity. So there are these 8 fetters. They bind our mind. They don't allow to express the mind properly in the external world. And we fight with those fetters to be able to express ourselves in the external world properly. So these are both sadhanas. One sadhana is for the spiritual liberation, and another sadhana is for attaining the economic freedom, the cultural freedom, the intellectual freedom, the social freedom, the political freedom. These are all sadhanas. And the combined name of all the sadhanas is Tantra, the science of overcoming staticity, the science of overcoming ignorance. Normally, people have this notion that there are many spiritual paths, because we have many religions, we have many traditions, we have many yogas, etc. But if you analyze deeper, if you look in the essence of the path, from the psychological and spiritual point of view, you will understand that there are no spiritual paths. There is only one spiritual path, and that is the life of a being, of a human being. And that we call sadhana. That we call sadhana. And in that sadhana, there are stages. The first stage of sadhana, and I want to talk about the stages, I want to talk about the entire duration of the path. The first stage is the stage of acquiring power. Sounds good, eh? Mastering the power is called Shakti stage. And when you move on the path of Shakti, you become Shakta. Okay, what is the point? There is this consciousness and there is energy. Every object consists of consciousness and consists of energy. In theory, they are 2, but in practice they are 1. Just like fire and its burning capacity. Theoretically, maybe you can distinguish, but in reality, it's the one thing. So consciousness is also the same thing. For example, take an example of a stone. If you look deeper into the stone, you will find out that there are atoms, molecules. If you go deeper into the atom, you will find what? You will find electrons, you will find the nucleus. If you go deeper into that nucleus, you will find what? Eventually, you will find that there is nothing. There is emptiness and waves. So there are waves in the emptiness. That emptiness, it would be more properly called consciousness. It is not actually the emptiness. It is not actually the void. It is the consciousness. So in that consciousness there is vibration. So consciousness is being vibrated, and energy is something which is vibrating. So consciousness is being vibrated, that is, consciousness is being vibrated, and energy, that which is causing that vibration. So that is the relation between consciousness and energy. Shiva and Shakti. Shiva, Shakti, Atmakam, Brahma. Absolute is the combination, Supreme Consciousness is the combination of two, consciousness and energy. So every object, my body, this carpet, this air I breathe, is the combination of these two factors. One is consciousness, one is that which is vibrated, and another one that which is vibrating, the energy. The crudeness and subtleness of the object is defined by the relationship between these. In the stone, energy is strongly, the vibration is strongly manifested, and the consciousness is almost nil. The stone does not understand, oh, I'm a stone, I'm lying here a very long time. There is no such understanding there. But in me, as a human being, the consciousness is expressed more. The vibration is less. The peacefulness is more. And the control of the consciousness of energy is more. There is interesting relationship. In one hand, the consciousness controls the energy. I order myself this hand. Contract. The hand does. So consciousness is giving an order. But this order is carried on through energy. So energy is obedient to consciousness. But in this consciousness, how this desire came to do like this? Because the energy is vibrating the consciousness, creating this impulse for the action. So there is a very interesting, constant unity and struggle between these two factors, between energy and consciousness. And the path of evolution is that such a process, such actions, which makes the vibrations of the mind subtler, reducing the domination of nature, reducing the domination of energy within the consciousness. And retardation, degeneration, is such actions, such processes which increase the domination of energy and bind the consciousness and the mind. And when the mind becomes cruder, the consciousness becomes cruder. So the first stage of sadhana is Shakti, Shakta. I am trying to get rid of the domination of the nature. The nature is dominating. If I am an animals, they have very simple life. They are in paradise because they don't have to struggle. Each expression is guided by the force of nature. There is no conscious decisions. They are just following their instincts. Human beings at the initial stage is also living like an animal, simply following an urge, following an instinct. What is comfort? Comfort is the environment where my desires are easily expressed. And then what is sadhana? Sadhana is not a comfort, because sadhana means choosing between different desires, different actions. Sadhana, initial stage of sadhana, where you receive the system of do's and don'ts. Do, take bath, do sadhana, do meditation, do asanas, physical exercises, follow certain diets. All those actions will elevate your mind, will make the vibrations in the mind subtler. In this way, they will increase your power. They will increase the freedom of the conscience from the energy. Don't do this. Don't steal. Don't lie. Don't hurt others. Don't harm others. Because those actions will make the vibration of your mind more restless, more crude. And you will slowly lose your control over energy. And you will come completely under domination and the control of the energy. Yes, there is interest in this. And in another video I'll explain about these two paths. One path is to rule over energy, and that is the dark path. And another path is to liberate yourself from the influence of energy and resist the temptation to rule the energy. Anyway, that is a big topic, isn't for another half an hour of a video, but it's very fascinating. So Shakta sadhana is because I'm evolving from the crude stages. So to say goodbye to those crude expressions of life is a little bit sad. I feel, oh, it was kind of nice, those crude things. But I have to let go of the past. I have to let go of the primitive expressions of the mind. And that is the path of evolution. The spirituality is two things. One is to forget something which is crude, something which makes me cruder. Because there is this law, as you think, so you become. So if you think of crude things, the mind becomes crude. And if you think of the subtle-most, the mind becomes subtle. So that is the process. Forget the crude, meditate on the subtle. But it starts with forgetting the crude. Because if you not forgetting the crude, then how you can meditate on the subtle? The mind is busy, mind is occupied. Let's say if there is this, landing, like when the airplane is landing, if this road, what you call it, the lane, is busy, is occupied, the airplane cannot land. So if your mind is preoccupied with money, with this, with that, of the products, the processes of the world, how can mind direct itself to the Supreme? That's why the first stage of sadhana is overcoming the bondages of the world. And it is mostly done through Pratyahara yoga. Pratyahara yoga. This is one Sanskrit term. Pratyahara means to withdraw the mind from the pabula, or from the food of the mind, from the objects of the mind. In meditation, especially in the personal lessons of meditation, this process is very elaborately taught. At first, spiritual seeker have to take the mind out of the external environment. once the world is gone, once I'm not thinking about the world. Secondly, I have to take the mind out of my body. Once the body is gone, once the body is no more, then I have to withdraw my mind from the mental expressions, from the thoughts. And when the mind is getting suspended, then I'm ready for the higher spirituality. So this suspending of the mind, suspending of this attachment of the mind to the objects is called Pratyahara Yoga. So in meditation, I have seen this miraculous effect of meditation because, like people, myself, I had so many bad habits, smoking, drinking, and when I started to meditate, half a year I was doing this process, and something was invisibly changing within myself. And then at one moment I just felt, I don't need it anymore. I want to leave it. I want to quit it. And in one stroke, I stopped all those bad habits. Never I felt any attraction to those bad habits. This is such a powerful process of Pratyahara. You do Pratyahara and slowly, your temptation, your fascination with the material existence diminishes. And you find subtler expressions in life, which brings you much more happiness, much more joy. This is one thing. Another thing of the Pratyahara, so one thing is to do meditation. Even the basic meditation that you do, there is a simple process of Pratyahara there as well. And if you do it every day, you will see that how much your life is changing. Within 1 year, I guarantee you, there are many beautiful changes will happen to your life. Another process of Pratyahara is in day-to-day life. For example, there is a food on the plate, and that food is a crude vibration. If I let go of my greediness and I eat it, I will go down in my vibration. My mind will become crude. So I have to meditate that this food is not food, but it is the expression of the Supreme Consciousness. The Divine Consciousness has become embodied in this food, and then now I'm consuming it. So this thought dilutes the greed, it elevates the mind, it channels the propensities of the mind. Instead of greed, I'm feeling the divine touch, and I'm eating in a very calm state of mind. I'm eating in a very inspired state of mind. And in this way, my mind doesn't become crude. My mind rather gets elevated. Also, I meet someone, I talk to someone. And especially since I'm doing meditation, my mind is supposed to be subtle. But if the person is not doing meditation, I come in touch and my mind goes to the same level. So now I have to meditate that divinity is in that person, and I am communicating with that divinity, not with the form, not with the shape, but with that divinity. So this process is called Madhu Vidya, or sweet knowledge. Madhu Vidya. Such knowledge that makes every action sweet. Sweet knowledge. There is another process of Pratyahara. It is called Varnargyadan or Guru Puja. In sweet knowledge, you ascribe the idea of divinity to the object, and then you take that object. You ascribe the idea of divinity to your food, and then you eat. But in Guru Puja, the attempt is made to let go of the object and don't take it. You offer that object at the feet of the Supreme Consciousness, poetically speaking. You offer it to the Supreme Conscience and leave it there. Don't have a climb over the object again. I let it go. And that is a big portion of sadhana. So many things are detrimental to our life. We have different desires. And if we would, there is this joke, that the best way for God to punish us is to allow for all our desires to be fulfilled. If God allows us to fulfill what is inside our mind, then it is the biggest punishment, because those desires will throw us into deepest crudeness. That is why some desires I have to renounce. I have to renounce some of the desires. But how to renounce? For example, this smoking habit, drinking habit. How to renounce? One way is to do meditation. If your mind is high, you just don't feel. You don't feel attraction to the crude things. Another one is called Guru Puja or Varnar Gyadan. It is a conscious effort to renounce the object. This is very, very, very interesting. I find it very interesting. I find that this renouncing is a subtle change in the heart. You are attached to something. Why you not stopping smoking? Because you don't want. You want to continue smoking. So to stop smoking, you need to want it. You need to want to quit the smoking, and not simply want intellectually somewhere at the surface of your mind, but you have to want it from the core of your heart. And that desire to change, to really truly change from the core of your heart, is the mother of all changes. So instead of quitting the smoking, you work on that readiness. You become ready for that. And then it will happen. Then you will make a little effort and you will get rid of this bondage. For that you need also divine help. I find it is very helpful to ask and to pray the Supreme, help me to become ready. Help me, please, help me to become ready to change myself. Because it is also through divine grace this change in the heart happens in you. There is this song, and I find that there is a very deep spiritual meaning. Tomare bhalobeshe, tomare paurashe, jujite shatabada prashtut achiyami. Tomare bhalobeshe, tomare paurashe. In loving you, in trying to attain you, in trying to achieve you, I am ready for hundreds of obstacles. So this song, sing 100 times. And try to imagine, I am really on the path of spirituality. I am attaining this absolute entity. And I am not only on that path, but I am also ready to change myself. I know that to attain that, I have to change. I have to become something different. And that change is the painful one sometimes. Because you having a sparrow in your hand, some habits, some little things that gives happiness to you. So you have to let it go. You have to let it go and then catch a big bird in the sky. But this letting go of the sparrow is a little sad thing. I love this sparrow. Why cannot I have this one and that one together? But life is such. Your mind is only one. Either it is crude or it is subtle. It cannot be both at the same time. It cannot be crude and subtle. It is either subtle or crude. So first you let go of the crudeness, then catch the subtleness, and that is Pratyahara Yoga. Liberating yourself from the bondages of crudeness. Yeah, so 3 processes are there. One is you meditate, you perform a very specific technique where you liberate your mind from the external world, liberate the mind from the body, liberate the mind from the thoughts. It is one. Another one, in day-to-day life, you impose the idea of divinity on the object with which you deal. This may sound very complicated, but actually, once you learn the personal lessons of meditation, it all becomes very clear. And another one is letting go, is the process of Varnar Gyadan, is the process of Guru Puja. I will make a video explaining, elaborating this process. You are trying to renounce the desire. You are trying to let go of the desire. And that is not a simple suppression. Oh, I will not take it anymore. You want to eat that cake. Accept it. Yes, I want to eat that cake. Don't lie to yourself. Don't say that I don't want to eat this cake. Yes, I want to eat that cake. But I want not to want. And I really want not to want. And I am cultivating this readiness within me. I am ready to let it go, this sparrow. Let it fly. And I am catching the big one. So that requires some courage. That requires some courage. Until you catch the big one. And then you will be so happy that you let go of this small thing. So this Shakta sadhana is the part of spiritual path where you liberate yourself from the influence of energy. Energy is trying to tempt you. Eat this, drink that, associate with that. But you say, no, I'm not interested. I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. In that process, you become the master of energy. And energy cannot influence you. And when this have been accomplished, you have become a perfect Shakta. I will explain, there is another video it requires to explain the path, the stages of this Shakta sadhana. And I will talk about power, the power. We love power so much. The power is there. We human beings, we always like to acquire power. And there is a path of acquisition of power, but it is a dark one. That path leads to darkness. So I will talk about power, I will talk about love, I will talk about love for power and the power of love, about the dark path and the path of light, and how we should move. You will make your own conclusions. Thank you very much. I will appreciate if you write in the comments, is it interesting, this topic, what you think also, and if it is clear or not, if you understood it or not, because it's a little, is a bit deep, philosophical, yeah, but I like this topic very much, and I find it helps my understanding on the spiritual path, and it motivates me properly. It makes me sober also. But this topic will take some more videos to understand completely. Yeah, thank you. Namaskar.